Hello and welcome to today's practice. For those who don't know me, my name is Sarah and I'll be guiding us through our mobility building class today. We're going to be working on finding a little bit more space to our body so we can move through our day with a little bit more comfort. So when you're ready, come join me on the mat and we'll begin. So we're going to start today sitting towards the back of the mat. Your feet planted out in front of you, hands behind your sitting bones, fingers pointing down towards the top of the mat. Begin to sit up nice and tall, finding length through each vertebrae. Shoulders are resting down behind the ears, and our chest is open up out in front of us. You can begin to close the eyes or bring a soft gaze. We'll just take a few moments here to find the connection between the parts of our body and the mat. As we check in and notice how the breath flows. And we notice how the body feels. And for today's class, I want to be working through a series of poses to try to give us more space so we can move a little bit more fluid through our day. And just notice the shoulders, the hip sockets, the knees. Just notice what you notice. And gently begin to blink the eyes open. Bring yourself back into the room. Begin to tilt the head down, looking down towards the mat. As you begin to round through the spine, draw the lower belly in. Allow the shoulders to drop forward, finding more space between each vertebrae. And inhale, gently sitting up nice and tall. Press your chest forward, pressing your belly forward. Roll the shoulder blades down and back behind the ears. Inhale at the top. Exhale, rounding forward, falling off the sitting bones, shoulders fall in. Inhale, open up. And exhale, gently round. Once again. Inhale, open up, greet the day, maybe looking up. And exhale, folding in. And inhale, sitting up nice and tall. From here, we're going to drop our knees over to the left while we begin to look over to the right. So your right sitting bone is going to peel up off the mat. We're going to come into a bit of a twist. So you can bring your right hand so your fingertips point over towards the edge of the mat. Inhale as you sit up a little bit higher and begin to twist and look over the right shoulder. Find more space through the body as we're twisting through the belly. Opening up, accessing the right hip. Going deeper into the right shoulder. Stretching through the right arm. Plant the right hand back down to where it was. Bring the knees through center. Drop the knees to the right. Look to the left. Draw the left hand out back behind you. Look over the left shoulder. I'm just feeling that opening now on this side of the body. Notice if it's any different. Notice how this side feels. Plant the left hand, draw the knees back up, dropping them down to the left. Bring the right hand back, sitting up nice and tall, and then begin to twist. So you really want to open through the chest, peel the shoulder blades back, creating loads of space down through the body. Plant the right hand, bring the knees through center, drop over to the right, left hand points behind you. We'll take this either side once again. We'll move it through it a little bit quicker. Inhale, knees come up. Exhale, knees drop down. Point the right fingertips, twist and look over the right shoulder. Inhale. And exhale, switch. Drop the right knees. Point the left finger, sit up nice and tall. Shine your chest forward. Look over to the left. And gently bring everything back to center. We're going to cross over at the ankles and make our way through our hands and legs to tabletop. Over to hands and knees, making sure knees are in line under our hips, our wrists are in line under the shoulders. We'll take a few cat-cow from here. Let's take a moment, find your stability, spreading your fingertips nice and wide, pressing down through each knuckle. On an inhale, drop your belly as you loop your shoulder blades back, looking forward. Exhale, begin to tuck the tailbone under. Drop the gaze as if you're trying to look through your feet. Down to the back of the mat. Coming up into cat pose. Peeling up the spine like an angry cat. And inhale into cow as you drop the belly. Lift the tailbone really high. Looking forward. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Drop the gaze. Hug the lower belly in. Pressing through the knuckles. Keep the weight out of the wrists. Inhale, back to cow. Look forward. And exhale, back to normal tabletop. From here, we're going to begin to shift the weight of the body over to the right. So as if you're trying to press your right shoulder to the right side of the room. Begin to send your hips back towards your heels. So you're pressing your right sitting bone towards the right heel. Begin to roll over towards the left, so the left sitting bone is now onto the left heel. Inhale, come back up, through center. Bring the chest forward as you slightly drop the hips down, rolling to the right, and send the hips back. So we're drawing circles with the body to move through our joints. So you might notice, like me, that your wrists or your hips are beginning to click and make noises. Just notice where it is that you're working into. Try and keep the movement nice and soft. Really feel into the body. Just getting deep into our joints, building more space. The next time you come back up through center, we're going to take it in the opposite direction. So send the hips back to the left, rolling to the right, back up, open forward. Noticing, and now as we warmed up our joints a little bit, maybe the clicking is beginning to stop. And just that you're finding that it's a little bit more fluid. You can move through this pose a little bit easier. Last round, wherever you are. Coming up through tabletop, and from here we'll make our way to down dog. So walk your hands more forward on the mat, index fingers pointing out towards the short edges of the mat as you tuck your toes under, lift your knees off the mat, keeping a deep bend in the knees. Press your hips towards the back of the room. Grounding through all 5 fingers. And looking towards the space in between your legs. Begin to drop the weight into one knee at a time. We're going to really exaggerate the movement. Drop the right knee over to the left side of the mat. So feeling a really deep stretch through the hamstring. Going deep into the outer edge of the hip. Inhale back to center. Drop the opposite knee in. Be looking over to the right. Inhale, one more either side. And switch. Back to our downward facing dog. From here, begin to extend the right leg up and overhead. Draw the knee into the belly as you hover forward on the mat, stepping it up towards the top of the mat. Drop the back knee and come down into a low lunge. Planting your right hand down onto the mat. Inhale, begin to sweep your left arm up and overhead and begin to draw large circles with the left arm. Inhale, drawing it up. Exhale, sweeping it back around and down. Inhale, up and around. So working deep into our shoulder. Feel the movement through the socket. Find more space. When we don't want to be dragging or pulling our arm into any pose, trying to find more fluid movement. We're also working on our hips here. Most of the movement is going through our arms, still working deep into our hips. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, down. See if you can bring even greater movement, drawing the arm up and overhead. Creating really huge space through the body. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, down. Draw the left arm up and overhead. Point through the fingertips and begin to bend and point the left fingers over to the right. So we're opening deeper into our left hip. Keep the chest nice and open. Inhale. And exhale, gently release the left hand back down onto the mat. Frame the right foot. Pick up the back leg. And we're going to step our right leg to meet the back leg into downward facing dog. And we can drop to the knees one at a time, shaking off the pose. Notice how the hips feel. Notice the shoulders. And now we'll take it to the next side. Begin to extend and lift through the left leg, knee into the belly, stepping up towards the top of the mat. Drop the right knee down, planting through the left hand. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and around, drawing circles with that right arm. How does this side of the body feel? Is it more open? Maybe it's a little bit tighter. How do the hips feel? Remembering to move with the breath. Inhale, the arm comes up. Exhale, it sweeps down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And the last one. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, reach the right hand up and overhead. Begin to bend through the side body. So the right fingertips point over to the left, going deeper into the hip, finding more space, open through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, softly release. Right hand plants. This time we're going to step our right leg to the top of the mat into a forward fold. So tuck the toes under, begin to step up, bringing both feet together. Knees as deeply bent so your chest can rest down onto the legs. Allow the head to hang heavy. Stay with your breath. Knees are deeply bent. We're going to begin to bring our hands to wrap behind our legs and to draw your elbows as close together as you can. Allow the head to hang heavy. Just resting the body down. Allowing the spine to decompress. Allowing the hips to relax. We're going to begin to straighten our legs. by picking up your hips. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher. But we're trying to keep our chest, trying to keep our body pressing into the legs. Don't worry if you don't find much movement here. Just working on going deep into the hips. Keeping a long spine, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe rolling the weight into the balls of the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale, release. Bring the fingertips onto the mat. Begin to pick up the heels and come down to a squat. So send the hips down to the heels, still up high up on the toes. And from here, we can just see if we can rest up on our toes. Working into the ankles, building nice strength, nice support into the tops of the toes. Don't worry if you begin to shake, I am too. Quite challenging for your balance, this pose. You can maybe bring your hands to heart center. Sit up nice and tall. Nice strong ankles. Lovely stretch for anybody who spends a lot of time in high heels. See if you can sit up even taller. Last couple of breaths. Lovely, release the hands down to the mat. Send the hips down towards the mat. And come back onto your back. Knees hug into the belly. Take a nice breath. Cross the right leg over the left. Hug the knees in. Feeling a nice opening to the outer edge of the right hip. Draw the knees close towards the body to feel it even deeper. If you're not feeling much, you can always take hold of the outer edge of the feet and begin to draw the legs open. Relax the shoulders. And release. And cross the opposite side. Draw the knees into the belly. Squeezing in, relax the shoulders. Draw the arms down the legs. If you need to go a little bit deeper. Breathing into the hip. And lovely, gently release. Hug the knees into the belly. Squeezing in, taking hold of opposite elbow. Rocking side to side. From here, we're going to come into happy baby, going really deep into the hips. So we're going to drop the knees out to the sides. You can either take hold of the backs of the knees or maybe to the outer edges of the feet as you draw the knees down towards the armpits. Feet are flexed, pointing towards the sky. Trying to lengthen the spine down on the mat. A great pose for accessing into our hips, pelvis area. Also supporting the knees, the ankles. Last breath. And draw the legs back together. And from here, we'll finish in our Shavasana. Extend your legs long away from the body. Take up as much space as you need to on the mat. Nestle the shoulder blades under. Palms face the sky. Nice long neutral spine. And let it all go. And relax. And just notice how the body feels. We've wiped away some of the cobwebs. Made more space to our joints. So we can move with a little bit more ease. And this is where I'm going to leave you today. Spend as long as you can here. And thank you very much for joining me I look forward to seeing you again on the mat very soon. Namaste.